Hello, my friends. I'm excited to go over today's word list because I love social studies and I love science. And so this word list is right up my alley, even though the words are a little bit more difficult than normal. Okay, let's begin. The first word is colony. And a colony is an area that is controlled by or belongs to a country and is usually far away from that country. So, for example, the United States, America, where we live, actually, before we became our own country, we were a colony of England. The second word is frontier. And a frontier is the border area between two countries. And the word frontier is usually used for a border area that doesn't have a lot of people living in it and is more wild and natural. That's frontier. The third word is immigrant. And an immigrant is a person who moves to another country to become part of that country and live in that country and work in that country. So an immigrant is someone who moves to another country. And our last word on line one is capital. And a capital is the city in a country or a state where all the government offices are. So the capital of the United States government is Washington, D.C. The capital of Maryland state government is Annapolis. Row 2, the first word is citizen. And a citizen is a person who legally belongs to a country and has the rights and protection of that country. So normally, whatever country you're born in, you are automatically a citizen of that country. You can become a citizen of a different country if you move there and you work there and you live there and you pay taxes there and you have to apply to become a citizen of a different country. And it usually takes a long time. The next word is election, and we just had one of those for the President of the United States. And an election is when people vote to put a political person in office. So we just had an election which Joe Biden won, and he is now President of the United States, which brings us to our next word, which is president. President is the head of the executive branch of government, and they make a lot of the decisions in governments, but they don't have total power. Like our US president doesn't have total power like a king. And then the last word in line 2 is democracy. And democracy is a system of government where the people who are being governed vote and make decisions about how they want their country to be. So we live in a representative democracy, but that's why we have elections, so we can vote people in to represent us in government. Okay, line 3 and 4, we're talking about shades of meaning. Line 3 is all about being cold, right? So these are 4 words that represent various degrees of coldness. The first one is the least cold, and that would be cool. Then after that, we have cold, right? So cold is colder than cool. Then we have biting. So that's normally, when you talk about biting cold, there's normally wind involved. So it's like cold and windy. And then frigid is like everything happening at once. It is really, really cold and it's probably windy too. So these are all words that describe some level of coldness, but you can see that each one has a very specific meaning. If it were a little bit cool on a spring morning, you wouldn't say it was frigid because that's just too strong of a word, or biting. You could say it's cool or cold. And then line 4, we have uneasy and bothered. So those are two kind of the same thing. Uneasy means like you're not feeling settled, and bothered means something's bothering you. And then we have fearful, which means you're scared. And then distraught means you're very, very upset.